Alright, you guys, so this is gonna be kind of a different video than what I usually do. I'm, strictly makeup, but I feel like with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are kind of struggling with the same kind of situation as me, which is really bad anxiety and just the holidays are not happy for me. Like, they're kind of just, they're not a happy time. Like, yeah, I love Christmas, but you know, my family's not here, and there's just a lot of, crap that goes through my mind around this time of year. One being that just it's not a good time of year for me, and two, I'm super thankful for what I do have. So I've seen a lot about addiction and just people dying from drugs or whatever they may be addicted to, and figured it would be a good video for me to make, kind of talking about it, because I do have experience with, oh my gosh, I do have like a background, not me personally with drugs, but I have a background in my life of dealing with addiction through someone else. Now, for those of you who know me, you do know that my dad was an addict at one point. It was a lot of my childhood, my childhood that I can remember. So I figured, with all of this stuff going on, I figured I would just take a break. My cat just fell off the table inside of a Wiggins bag. Hang on. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, anyways, so there's been a lot going on with the whole heroin thing, oh my gosh, and just other drugs, pills, and there's so much, and not for nothing, but the media and, like, rappers, they all kind of glorify that, and I just do not agree with that. I listen to their music, but, like, I just don't agree with the fact that they glorify drug use and that they, if you ever listen to a rap song, the first thing you hear is them lighting a freaking lighter to, who knows what they're smoking, probably a joint or something, but, like, it's just like, why is that a thing? Like, these kids our age are growing up, and the party lifestyle is, like, us drinking and getting shit-faced drunk. For what? Like, sure, you guys think it's fun, but, like, for those of you who know me personally, no, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't do any of that, and that's because I know where I come from, my family, and the addiction that runs in my family. Like, I don't do that stuff. And I feel like a lot of kids aren't educated these days really on what drug use actually can do to you and do to the people you love, even if it's not just you. For instance, like me, my dad was an addict, and he spent a lot of my childhood doing drugs, and my normal dad that I knew was a dad that would be nodding out, and my mom would be checking up on me to make sure me and Sammy are okay and that dad's not sleepy that day, and I never really understood it at first, but as I grew older, I kind of figured it out, and he kind of, told me, like, hey, I have a problem. He admitted it. He was trying to get help. But the thing about addiction is that you cannot force somebody who is an addict to get help. I cannot stress that enough. You cannot force them to get help. If they don't want to get help, they will not stay clean. They will not get the help they need. And that is the biggest thing I see today is like, oh, I sent them to, detox, and I sent them to rehab, and I sent them to a program. But if that person doesn't want to be clean, they're not going to try when they get out. All they're thinking of when they're in there is just, this many more days and I can get out. This many more days and I can do drugs again. This many more days and I can hit up all my friends that are, supplying this crap for me and in this lifestyle with me. And it's just like, if they don't want it, they won't get it. And if you force them to get it, they won't go through with it. I'm saying you need to talk to them, and when they are ready to get clean, which it may take, counseling, or it might take something deeper than just saying, hey, go to rehab. And for my dad, it definitely showed that. Like, I'm not talking for everyone's situation either. I'm just talking about, like, my experience and hoping that this can help someone else that's dealing with the same kind of thing I dealt with. My parents split, and it wasn't necessarily because of that. They had their own thing, you know. I don't even know to this day the details of what was going on. So they split, and when they split, my dad moved out in his own place, and that's kind of when I started to, you know, realize the extent of what was going on. I didn't really know as much as I thought I knew. And, you know, my dad had his own place, and, like, we'd go over there, and Dad would always be tired, you know. Just watching him go through that and thinking that that is my father, that's the dad I know, like, that is how he is. People would be like, oh, your dad's always tired. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't sleep, he has sleep apnea, like, that's all it is. That, to me, that's all it was. And let me tell you, first off, I want to start by saying I am so incredibly freaking proud of my dad. He has been, sorry, I'm gonna cry. So, I didn't think this was gonna be this hard. So, my dad has been off drugs now for 6 years. And my dad that I knew is not my dad now at all. He is completely different. It's like, it is amazing what a change it has made. I'm sorry, this is gonna be like 10 minutes of me crying. But it's just like, people are like, oh, what's it like to have, you know, a dad who made it? Or a dad who beat the drug addiction. And it's just, I'm so blessed that I could say that my dad made it and that he's still here with me. And I just got off the phone with him, and that's kind of, you know, whenever I need a little, like, pick-me-up, I call him, and I'm like, look, like, I'm struggling. I have really bad anxiety today, or I'm not feeling good, like, mentally, I'm just not good today. I call him. And he is now a counselor, an addiction counselor, in the program that he got clean from. It's called Converting Hearts Ministry. And I cannot express to you how much this ministry means to me and my family, because it is what saved his life. The people there, and just him, Christ working through my dad, has been just life-changing. Like, I want to thank that ministry from the bottom of my heart for giving me my dad back, first off. And second off, he now works for them, and he counsels men that also struggle with addiction. And that is in itself a blessing, because they have someone that has experienced what they've experienced and is going through the same struggles that they're going through, and knows what it's like when, you know, you're just craving the drugs and your family just doesn't understand. My dad understands, and it's just so awesome for all those guys that are in there. Which, yes, it's just for men right now. They're trying to open another facility for women, which would be amazing if that could happen. And my dream is to make it on my small little YouTube channel and be able to donate to, you know, that cause and expand their ministry and give them the money they need for whatever. But I don't know if you probably can't see this. My cat's chilling in the window. He's like staring at me, watching me cry. When I'm upset, he sits with me. He knows I'm upset, so. But I'm not even crying because I'm upset right now. I'm crying because I'm just so blessed for what I have. And a lot of people take that for granted. And a lot of people aren't as lucky as I am to have their family member or friend or whoever survive this and make it through. And I'm just so incredibly blessed and thankful that my dad was sent to Converting Hearts Ministry. And I love every single person that has been involved in his churches and his ministry, and just allows him to live his life through Christ and be a better person because of that, be a better Christian because of that. And a lot of people don't know I'm religious, but I'm not out there, I'm not one of those people that's like preaching to everyone I meet, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not like that. I'm more private about my religion. The work that I've seen God do through my dad is just amazing, and he always says he knows that God has a plan for me too, and I'm like, can't wait to find out what it is, because if it's anything like what my dad is doing and changing lives and all that, it would just be such a blessing for me to be able to do that. But anyways, back to, I'm getting off track now, but I really just want to say, like, if you see someone that's struggling, just sometimes even it's just talk to them. Just talk to them. That's all they need. Whether it's a mental illness, like depression, anxiety, anything, addiction, anything like that, just talk to them. Because sometimes it takes just something like a reminder, like for addiction, like, hey, you're losing your family. You need to fix this. Like, we know you have the strength to get better. You're losing your family. And for my dad, I think that was a wake-up call. Is like, you're losing your kids, you're losing your wife. Like, and I think that, because he went through, I remember 2 times that he went through a detox, and then he went through like a different, program down in South Carolina. And both times he came back to Rochester after. We're from Rochester. So he would leave, he would get clean, he'd be doing awesome, we'd be talking to him, we're like, oh my gosh, Dad is clean, like, praise the Lord, he is clean. And he would come home. And when you come home, you fall into old habits, you run into the same people, you know where to find them, and if you're having a bad day and you know that you're going to be weak, and you're just like, I know exactly where to go, and you go right back into it. That's just how it is. So for him, the best option was to move to North Carolina. So when Converting Hearts Ministry gave him the option to stay there, and they've provided food and housing and a car and a job, this is all through Converting Hearts, and my dad has had all of this amazing stuff provided for him. And when you have an opportunity like that, like where you're clean, you're doing awesome, and you know like things are going to change, you need to get out of your old environment too. And that's exactly what he did. And I know I'm kind of ranting about my life right now, but like, I think, it can help someone. I don't know how, but I feel like it can. And especially if you know someone who is, a Christian, and that that if maybe, just maybe, because the guys in Converting Hearts, not only are they all doing amazing, some of them are down helping in Puerto Rico right now, some of them are out, finally going to college and families and just all this stuff that they probably couldn't have had if they wouldn't have gone there, and they wouldn't have changed their lifestyle. And my dad now has my sister living down there with him, and he works every day helping men in need that are also addicts and that also are going through the same thing as him, and that they've gone through the worst, they've hit rock bottom, and it's time for them to clean themselves up, and they know it. They're ready. They are ready. And some of them go in there, don't get me wrong, some of them go in there and they're like, I cannot do this. I can't do this. And my dad will say, let's take it one day at a time. Just stay the day with me. And these guys come out some of the most successful guys, working and just doing things that they couldn't do before. And it's such a blessing to watch. And I know a lot of them, and I've met a lot of them, and obviously everyone turns out different, but a lot of the guys right now are working down in Puerto Rico doing amazing, and they're able to be down there because they have gone through this. They're able to say no to the drugs that people are offering them. They're able to say no to the alcohol, say no to the situations that they know are not good for them. And that is just amazing to hear. And this has been on my mind since I went to the Converting Hearts banquet, and it was mid-November, and this has been like weighing heavy on me. I feel like I just need to like share this. But just my overall, like, I just want to say that, if you're struggling with addiction, or you're in my situation where your parents are addicts, or just someone in your family is an addict, just know you are not alone. And addicts, also, anyone with any type of addiction, just know you are not alone as well. And that goes for, like I said, addictions, mental diseases, anything, any mental illnesses, anything like that. You are not alone. There is someone out there that understands you. And I mean, for a lot of things, I am that person. And if anyone needs to talk to me, I am always open. I will always talk. I will always take the opportunity to try to help somebody that needs the help. And I know this is like a super long video, and you guys are probably like, okay, this is enough. Like, you're probably not even watching by this point, but I just really am so thankful. And this just, not even just this time of year doesn't even really get me like that. It's just like, it's been an everyday thing where I'm like, praise the Lord that my dad has, found God and found himself. And I go down there and I talk to him, and he's looking me in the eye, not falling asleep or nodding out. And he's able to do things with me, and I'm not worried about him 24/7. And that is just the biggest blessing. And honestly, I owe it all to Converting Hearts, because they're the ones that literally saved my dad's life. My dad always says it's not about sobriety. It's not about my clean date every year. Like, oh, I've been 1 year clean, I've been 2 year clean. He's like, that doesn't matter. It's just Christ is all that matters. And he always tells me, he always says faith alone and Christ alone. And it's so true. And I'm just, if you are going through what he went through, just know that there's help. There are people that understand you. There are people who are here to help you and to help you get clean. And even if you just need counseling, anything like that. My dad even says, like, he always talks about how he would love to have a women's facility down there so that they can come and get the help they need. Because the guys in Converting Hearts, they do Bible studies every day. They just worship God 24/7 down there. They work on a farm. They take care of animals. They build stuff. They're like working men. They're not just sitting around, in like this freaking room, trying to get clean. They're out working and working through the Lord, and the Lord's working through them. And it is the atmosphere on that farm is just the most beautiful thing ever. I love visiting there. I love all the guys that are always in there. They're always the sweetest things ever. And it's hard because some of them don't make it in the end. Some of them, get out of there, and it's just, they don't make it, which sucks, because I've met a couple guys that I've gotten close with, and they haven't made it. And I can only imagine the pain my dad has felt after being with these guys and just building relationships and watching them do so well. And some of them just, one day you hear, like, hey, this person passed, they caved, or something else happened, or they had no way to cope with what the drugs were a Band-Aid for. And that part of it sucks, but it is just such a rewarding job. And honestly, I've thought so hard about being an addiction counselor so many times, or a counselor for the kids of addicts. Like, I've thought about that so many times, because I can relate. Like, I can't relate to addicts, but I can relate to the families. I can relate to the kids. I can relate to people that are going through it. And I just hope that one day, whatever God's plan is for me, it's something with addiction. Me to be able to talk to people or things like that. And it's just such a blessing. And just, moral of this whole story is you're not alone. There's hope. And there's always going to be tough days. You're never fully like, yes, I feel 100% again. That is always going to be in your life, And a lot of people who are, I don't even like to say recovering addicts, because once you're off of it, you're not. I don't consider you an addict. You've made it. Like, you are a whole new person. It's like my dad was freaking reborn, and in the same body, but like he's not the same person at all. And just know you are not alone. You're never alone. Never. Especially for a Christian who believes in God, you are never alone. He's always with you. There's always someone that will stand by you. There's always someone there to help. You're never alone. And that is the biggest thing, is a lot of people feel like they are alone, and that's how it begins. But you are not alone. You're never alone. And the holidays are tough for a lot of people. The holidays are really happy for a lot of people. Just remember, when you meet that rude person at Walmart that yells at you for cutting them off, or that bumps into you and just glares at you, just remember, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if the holidays might be the worst time of their year. You can't expect everyone to be holly jolly for Christmas, or oh, it's Thanksgiving, family time. What if they don't have a family? What if they just lost a loved one? And I feel like I need to take my own advice sometimes, because I get really frustrated with people who are, snippy with me. Or I'm not even gonna lie, I definitely get angry when someone cuts me off or things like that. But again, everyone is fighting their own battles. You just need to remember that not everyone has a family around this time of year. A lot of people get very depressed this time of year. I know I do. I get very anxious and very depressed, and I'm sick 24/7 because my body's just like, nope, not another day today. Like, we're not doing this. Like, we're not having a good day today. That's not happening. And, I mean, it happens. It happens. But just remember, not everyone is living their best life, and not everyone has, parents or siblings or best friends or someone they can turn to, or someone that, a family that's there to make their holidays special. And I know this is like really a weird video for me to be making, but I just feel like I need to get that out there. And it's just, after having that talk with my dad earlier, I just felt like it was a good time to do it. And just, just spread my word. Definitely converting hearts. I 110% like owe my life to them. They changed everything about my life for the better. I highly recommend definitely sending them to the ministry, because it is just like, it's like heaven on earth at that place sometimes. Like, you walk in and it's like, and you're like, wow. All the guys are out working, and it's just an awesome place. And the people that run it are awesome people. My dad and his friend Charlie that work there, they're beautiful people, and they're there and ready to help you and just be there for you, even if it's, for a short time, like however short of time you need, whatever, they're there to help. And I can promise you that my dad puts 110% into this, and he's so passionate about it, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. And I really do pray that they are able to expand and have a women's facility and just get a bigger farm for the guys, so that, they have more space and they can take in more guys, and just these are all the things that like I do hope for. And I'm just incredibly proud of how far my dad has come. Incredibly proud. Thank you guys for watching this. I'm sorry I got emotional, but just remember, you're not alone. And sometimes all it takes is you reaching out to that person that needs help and doesn't feel like they have it. And it's just, you can be the change. Even if you don't realize it, you can be that change in somebody's life, and you can help that person through their tough times or whatever. And it's just, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to be able to, you know, help people. So I hope everyone has a good holiday. Even, you know, if you're going through something, just remember you're not alone. You are not alone. And a lot of people wouldn't know what I've gone through looking at me because I don't show it. But just, I hope everyone has a good holiday. And honestly, if anyone wants to reach out to me and talk to me, feel free. Like, really, feel free. I'll talk to you. I'll, you know, if you need just to vent, I'll listen. Anything. And I really do hope I help at least one person. My goal in life is to help at least one person. And even if, you know, if it's something stupid, like, hey, I just needed to pick me up today, like, you just gave me it, you know? Just, if you can stop, if you're walking on the street and you could just stop and smile at one person, you could have changed their entire day. Who knows, they could have been, you know, they could have been going home and planning to kill themselves later that night. They could have been going, you know, on their way to just wherever. They could have just been having the worst day, and you smiling and acknowledging them and saying hello or how are you could have just turned their entire day around and changed their mind. Or, you know, just, it could have, you could have so much impact on someone just for smiling and being nice and saying hello. I feel like the world lacks a lot of that these days. A lot of that. And it's just, it's not okay. It's really not. Like, people are just so nasty to each other. And it's, you know, I've lost friends to suicide. I've thought about it myself a couple times when I was younger. Like, it's just, it's not something to joke about. It's a real thing. It exists. It's real. Okay. And honestly, for me, I was a new kid in school. It was really horrible because everyone made fun of me. And, you know, no one liked me. No one accepted me. And just, you know, those few people that reached out and were nice to me honestly saved my life. Like, they really did. I felt worthless. I felt like nothing I did mattered. I felt like I didn't matter to anybody. You know, I felt like, you know, my parents were saying, like, oh, it doesn't matter, you're beautiful, because they had to. Like, I didn't feel like I was anything special. And that was a really deep time in my life, and it was dark, and it was miserable. And, you know, then I started cheerleading, and I made some friends, and I started doing sports, and, you know, my friends are like, why do you still hang out with the weirdos? And I'm like, because they're not weird. They're literally my lifesavers, and they're my best friends. And I still talk to a couple of them this day, and we laugh about how we were the, you know, the weird kids in class, and everyone hated us, but we had each other, and it was just, that's all we needed, you know, was a couple of us. Especially my friend Laura, that me and him used to literally, like, just, we were like a mess together. But I'm so thankful for those people that came into my life, and I hope that I can be that person in someone else's life. And, you know, just remember, everyone's going through something. So the weird kid in school, me, they're going through something. I hope you guys have a great holiday and a happy new year. And I helped at least one person from this video. I really do. So yeah, I'll also leave the link for Converting Hearts down below if anyone's interested in that too. So thank you guys. I will see you in a later video. Bye guys.